Hey, welcome in tonight. I'm Lizzie Arbogast, sports editor at Tallapoosa Publishers, alongside managing editor Santana Wood. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. So I woke up this morning and I was like, I really wish that the world would just say this was just one big April Fool's Day joke.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize it's April Fool's Day.
Yeah, it is. I wish I had a
That's what
joke to.
happens when you're
All
when
right,
you're
I
in
should
your
have had a
home for
joke
two
to play
weeks.
on you.
Man, you should have. I
Yeah,
hate April Fool's though. It's like I don't think it's funny.
not into it. Well, not a
Mm-mm.
lot's funny right now. So, we'll dig right into things. Obviously, we're here tonight to talk about our latest coronavirus updates for the evening. And I think a big thing that we want to talk about tonight is just stressing the importance of social distancing. I mean, our numbers in Alabama are growing at such a rapid rate. We'll get to those in just a second. But we really need to look out for what's to come and how do we continue to flatten that curve and continue to protect ourselves and our loved ones and our community from seeing the worst of this thing.
Yeah, I think it's something that everyone can do is just look at the way it's going for other states and just kind of know that inevitably the cases are going to continue to grow here. I mean, that's what we're seeing every
Right.
single day. The numbers continue to grow. Florida at this time has more than 6,000 cases, I believe, and Georgia has more than 4,000. And both of
Mm-hmm.
those states' governors have said that they are going to issue a shelter in place order. The latest from Governor Kay Ivey, she said that she was not going to issue one, but we don't know what the future holds. But I think it's so
Right.
important to just be able to look at those numbers and understand that those higher numbers are going to continue to happen here in Alabama, in Tallapoosa County, and social distancing is the answer to flattening that curve and slowing things down.
Yeah, absolutely. And here, a development, here today in Alexander City, the police department has said as of March 27th, this has been allowed by the Alabama State Attorney General, but the Alexander City Police Department posted on its Facebook that it would be writing citations for gatherings of more than 10. Those citations can range anywhere from $50 to $500. Chief Jay Turner also, delivered reminders to businesses about how important it was for them to be practicing those social distances. And even if they are, essential businesses, that doesn't mean that they're not supposed to be taking precautions. So obviously the city, the police department for sure is taking this very seriously. And I think that they're setting a good example for the rest of us. And I'm glad that Chief Turner, sort of made those things clear today.
Yeah, I think that it was important for him to get that out there to stress that, the police department is taking this really seriously and this is not a joke. This is not a time to hang out with friends. This is
Right.
not a time to be gathering in the parking lot, hanging out, or, going to do things together. It's just not the time for that. And whenever you think about 10 people, I mean, it doesn't take long before you've got 10 people around you,
Right.
I mean, you've really got to be able to avoid those gatherings at all costs, or at this point, you could have a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, in Alex City, they did decide to shut down the Sportplex, which is kind of unfortunate because the Sportplex, it is a safe area and it did provide opportunities for small groups and families, which are okay at this point. It's said that if you're within kind of your own family unit, you're probably as safe as you can be. It did provide a place for those people to go and to walk and to hang out with their kids and stuff like that. And it was unfortunate. I talked to Parks and Rec Department Director Sonny Wilson, and he was not happy. Not just that there were gatherings that he had to break up, but also that he was met with kind of an unkind response by those people that he was trying to break up. So he sort of reiterated what Chief Turner said, like, keep your butt at home if you can.
Yeah, I think, so many people right now are just begging and pleading, please listen to the guidelines. And I
Yeah.
think, if people don't start taking that seriously, I mean, it's just inevitable that the cases are going to continue to grow and grow and grow and get out of control. And that's what we want to try to avoid as best we can. They're going to
Yeah.
keep coming. I mean, it's just inevitable, but the least that everybody can do is follow these guidelines to try to flatten the curve as much as we can.
Yeah.
And that brings me to, the current numbers here in the state today. Our latest check was around 6:30 tonight, and in the state they had risen to 1,105, and that is a jump of more than 100 since our 10 a.m. update today. And just over 7,774 have been tested. Nearly 8,000 have been tested at this time, according to the Alabama Public Health.
Yeah, and that includes 14 in Tallapoosa County, 15 in Elmore County. Both of those have risen since the morning update. Still just 4 in Coosa County. But again, how quickly those are rising. It's a scary thing. There are 28 reported deaths. Again, they're doing those 2 different categories. So you'll see that on your screen. 17 that have been confirmed that they died from the illness.
Yeah, and here in Alexander City, we got an update from Russell Medical saying that 271 tests have been submitted and they have received 201 back. And Director of Marketing Susan Foy at Russell Medical said that 19 tests had come back positive at the hospital. And, there are 14 in Tallapoosa County, but those other positive cases at Russell Medical could very well be from another county.
Yeah, and also I think too there is still some, even though the Alabama Department of Public Health is updating in more real time, there is some lag certainly there as they're confirming and making sure that the confirmed cases are extra confirmed. So it's hard to tell, how those cases will grow tomorrow, that kind of thing. So again, we really wanted to talk about social distancing tonight and how important that was. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back to talk about some local news for you guys. All right, welcome back. I'm Lizzie Arbogast, sports editor at Tallapoosa Publishers, alongside managing editor Santana Wood. We've talked about some really important social distancing tips, the numbers as well for tonight, and we want to dig into some local news. This goes along with, the theme of the evening over in Tallahassee. Mayor Johnny Hammock has once again stressed that teens must stop hanging out in parking lots, and if this continues to be a problem, he is going to consider a citywide curfew.
Yeah, I think that that's something that he's going to continue to watch closely, and he will have to put that curfew in place if it continues. The Elmore County Sheriff's Department also is warning residents to be on the lookout for COVID-19 scams. One circulating around is about a home testing kit. And the Sheriff's Department just wants to remind everyone that there is currently no approved COVID-19 home testing kit. If you see any type of kit online or anything like that, or get a phone call, please contact the Elmore County Sheriff's Department and alert them of that. And I think that goes for Tallapoosa County as well. If you hear of any scam like that, please call the Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Department or Alexander City Police Department, Dadeville Police Department. Alert them, let them know, and just be on the lookout for those type of things right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Back here in Tallapoosa County, we have confirmed that an employee at Bill Nichols State Veterans Home did test positive. The employee has not been in the building since March 23rd and is expected to make a full recovery. So that's good news. We've had a couple questions about people saying, what are the recovery numbers? We've heard the bad numbers. So we are looking into those kind of recovery stories and things like that. So it's a little scary, obviously, that's an employee at a veteran's home, but encouraging news.
Yeah, over at Chapman Healthcare, we did get word today that some residents had tested positive for COVID-19. We had one confirmed last week, but Now some more have tested positive, and those patients were transported to Lake Martin Community Hospital in Dadeville, to a quarantine unit over there. Management didn't release the number to us of how many confirmed cases there were, but did say it was a small group, and it actually was, all of those residents were in the same hallway as the first case.
Right. So not great news tonight. So we'll try to end on a couple of high notes. Also, always want to debunk a myth. And we've read some stuff about garlic being able to ward off. This is not vampires, right? Like, this is the coronavirus. So the CDC has said, there is no cure at this point. There is nothing that's going to be warding off the virus, except for these social distancing guidelines that they've put in place that can slow that spread. So it's really important to not believe that food that you're eating could potentially, always keep a good diet, right? But especially when we can't work out as much, keep a good diet. But garlic is not going to ward off the virus.
All right, very true. Also want to give you guys a little bit of feel-good news. Easter is coming up, and obviously Easter is going to look a little bit different this year with no church services and no big, large gatherings. So there is going to be an Easter egg hunt of sorts in Dadeville. Residents are being asked to craft an egg and put it in the window so the Dadeville Experience can put together a map and have families drive to find those eggs and kind of have a different sort of egg hunt for Easter.
Yeah. And again, I think it is kind of encouraging with this bad news. We've seen, ways that people are getting creative. I was working on a story in sports that'll be in tomorrow's paper. The run for autism had to be canceled this year. And so they're doing a virtual run where you take a picture of yourself walking in your house, around your yard, in a safe space. So it's amazing how creative people are getting. And, luckily we do have kind of the internet that connect us. And, this is the only time you and I get to see each other, so there are ways to keep in touch during this time, which we do encourage just to do it safely.
Yeah, and I think it's a time to even connect with old friends. I was talking with a former professor, and she said that she was FaceTiming or Zooming or whatever with some friends who were in Florida, and that she was just so glad that she was able to connect with him. And then she was like, you know what? I don't know why we didn't think to connect like this before.
Right.
It's a way to catch up with people who you don't normally see. And I think that that's what, everybody's bored, everybody's at home, everybody's working from home. A lot of people are, and having to deal with kind of the strangeness of it all. But I think it's just really important to, while we're having this time, at least make the best of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you have any creative things that you're doing, ways that you're helping out in the community, let us know. We're definitely looking out for those story ideas and want to feature all the great people we have in our Tri-County area for sure.
Yeah, and Lake Martin Living is also still accepting any photos of, you helping someone out or someone helping you out. If you have those, please submit those in, and you might be featured in Lake Martin Living. And we appreciate you guys watching us and continue to turn to us for news. We do, our twice a day updates on the numbers to keep you guys in the loop on the latest numbers in the case, latest numbers in the state and the counties as well. And we just really appreciate you guys. We will be here every weeknight at 7 o'clock giving you the latest coronavirus coverage, and we appreciate you watching. I am Santana Wood, managing editor.